We're going to do today for the next hour and a half or so. We're going to talk about how to hook these things up to a local network in the internet, and to do that we need to do a careful pre-installation survey of the customer system. We need to know what their local network looks like. We need to figure out how we're going to address our devices. We're going to have to cable in our devices, our 2040, our recorder, and our various cameras if they're hardwired. We're going to have to get the 2040 programmed up along with the cameras. We're going to have to test it over the local network. Then we're going to, if we want to give our customer internet connectivity so that they can call the 2040 and it becomes the portal for access and manipulation for live and recorded video for the customer, well, we're going to have to deal with the router and the internet connection so that remote access can be achieved. And we need to test it, of course, because we test everything we do in our business, and we need to test it and make sure it works so we're all good with that. So this is what we're going to talk about for the next hour and 15 minutes. First, you need to select your products. Remember, Nuo's got a lot of products. The product we're going to use today in this demonstration or in this presentation is the 2040. It's the 4-camera unit. Everything I'm saying applies to the 4080, but it goes up to 8 cameras, and certainly you can get bigger server-based systems if you need more, than 8 cameras on a particular system. You also need to figure out how many hard drives you want. The 2040 in my house, I have 1 hard drive, but you can have 2 in a 2040. You can have 4 in a 4080. But we're going to focus on the 2040 to get you started on this really great family of products, these Nuo devices. Now, what we need to do is plan our installation. And to do that, we've got to figure out the network addressing that the customer is using. We've got to set and select our static IPs for our cameras in the 2040. We need to put that stuff into our cameras in our 2040. And then we need to work with the firewall and router, do the settings there so that we get that remote access over the internet. Here's the system that we're going to be working with today. And on the lower left-hand side, you see our existing system where we've got our DSL adapter. It's hooked up to the internet. That goes into the router/switch, which is hooked. It's got a couple PCs on it. That's their existing network. Call it Bob's Body Shop. He's got a couple of PCs. He's hooked up to the internet. No big deal. But now in the upper right, these are the new components we're going to put in. The Nuo 2040 recorder, and we're going to put in 4, in this example, wired cameras. But remember, we can do wired cameras or wireless cameras, a maximum total of 4 cameras, wired or wireless, into a Nuo 2040. Now, to work with our customer's network, we got to know some things about it. And if we make the assumption that there is no IT person at Bob's Body Shop, that his kid put the network in, whatever, we are going to have to be able to access the router and DSL or cable modem internet adapter. To do that, we need the usernames and passwords. This is critical. That's why it's underlined. That's why it's in bold. You must have this information. Now, the next slide is going to hook you up with a survey form you can download from my website. And that survey form is going to help you. If you fill that survey form out, you're going to have all the information you need to know. And this survey should be done before the installation. The sales guy could do the survey so that you have all the information you need. But basically, usernames and passwords, the type of router that they have, the type of internet connection they have, and also, very important, we've got to look at the back of their router/switch and make sure we've got enough open RJ45 sockets that are labeled LAN, L-A-N, so that we've got enough places to plug in our wired devices. The 2040 is going to be wired into the Ethernet network. We may have wired cameras, we may have wireless cameras, but we have to have enough sockets to plug everything in. Now, this installation survey form I'm telling you about is a free download. You go to my website, SlaytonSolutionsLTD.com. Go there on the first page. At the bottom in the middle, there's a click-through that takes you to the PDF. It says it's an installation survey form or something like that. Click there, get the form. It's yours. It's free. Use that and gather the important information you need. If you don't have this information, you're going to have real difficulty completing the tasks that we're going to talk about that have to be done.